This last one, the Mexican, it's not using any noodles. It's using tortillas in place of the noodles. But if you wanted to, you could actually use the lasagna noodles on that. Okay. Okay, grab this stuff out of the way here a second. So we'll go ahead and saute some beef up, or brown the beef thing. All right. 200 changes of gloves later. All right. Now this one also works well with chicken too, if you want to use it. It also works really good with beef tips. Just cutting it up kind of small. There we go. Okay, so while that's cooking, I'll go ahead and get the rest of the stuff ready. Now if you like it hot, don't take the seeds out of this step. I actually will add, when I make this for myself, I'll add some, of course I like habanero peppers, but that's a little too hot for some people. But poblano peppers, a little bit milder, but it makes it for a really good dish with this one. Okay, like I said, just take a spoon to run down the center there to get the seeds out. Okay. You want to cut this up pretty small, because even though it's called a Mexican lasagna, heat is not the main focus on this. It's a combination of the flavors that's added into it. So you don't really want to get a huge bite of a pepper in this. Okay. I'm using a red onion again. This is actually just one of my personal, favorites for this. This works really well with a white onion too. Not so much with the Vidalia. Yellow onion's okay, but you want kind of a stronger onion for this. The red, it's got a good, flavor to it, and it adds just a light sweetness to it. And about 1/4 of an inch is what we're looking at cutting that. Okay. Stir up the beef a little bit. Might help if I turn that up a little bit. So, yeah, you want to cook this starting off about a medium high, and then we'll be cutting it down to around a medium. Okay. grab red bell pepper. If you can get the sticker off of there. There we go. Let's cut that vein out. And cut that about the same size as you did the onions. And like before, this is using the different color is mostly for the appearance than it is flavor. So if all you have is green, you know, that's fine. Okay. And another thing that you could add to this dish if you wanted to is black beans. And they go really well with this. Okay. And like I said, if you got an electric chopper, that'd save you a lot of time on this one especially. Okay. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the seasoning to the beef. Now I used a 80-20 mix on the beef here. So there's a little bit of grease in there, but there's not a lot. But if you happen to use one that has, you know, produces more grease, you would want to drain it a little bit. There's not enough in here to really worry about draining. So I want to keep some of that in there because that's going to help retain some of the flavor too, especially once I put the seasoning with it. Take the garlic powder and the chili and the cumin. Okay. And if you wanted to, you can actually just put taco seasoning in. If you have a taco season mix that you like, and add to it, and it gives it, you know, obviously a taco flavor to it once it's done. But this one, it's a little bit milder in flavor, but it's the combination between the meat and seasons and the vegetables that really help to set this one off. Okay. Get that good and brown. And go ahead and start tossing everything in there. Let's get it all mixed up good. Okay. I'm going to let that cook about another 3 to 4 minutes. Just enough to soften up the onions just a little bit. You don't have to soften them completely because like I said earlier, you know, we'll finish cooking it off in the oven. Okay. Just get you a can of whole corn. Drain it off real good. And this is where if you wanted to add the black beans, you can throw them in here with the corn. And you can even throw in, slightly larger chunks of tomatoes if you wanted to. But since we're going to be using the salsa, it's got a pretty good amount of chunky tomatoes in it. But sometimes you may just have some salsa there at the house you want to use, and that'll be fine. Just add some tomatoes yourself. Okay. Now this one I'm using just a mild salsa. Obviously, if you like it hotter, you can get a harder version. Okay. And just stir that up really good. Make sure everything's mixed well. Actually, add just a little bit more. You'll be able to tell when you're adding it. It'll have, like this section here has got a good, almost like a glaze over it from the salsa. Right here, it's just, more vibrant in color because where it's just the fresh vegetables. So you want to get that all mixed in there so you distribute the flavors a little bit more evenly. Okay. Now the rest of this is the easy part. Okay. Go ahead and pitch a bit of that down right quick. Alright, we're using cottage cheese in this. You could use ricotta if you wanted to, but it really would change the texture as well as the flavor. Okay. And I'm using corn tortillas. You can actually use the flour tortillas too if you wanted to as a substitute. Just kind of layer them in there. It fits almost exactly 6 for this. Okay. And you can give it a pretty liberal coat on this one. Like so. Okay. Now this is just a 1 pound container of the cottage cheese. You want to put the entire contents on one layer there. And then just kind of spread it out a little bit. And it spreads out pretty even with this one. Okay. Put you another layer of corn tortillas. And the rest of the meat. Spread that out really good. Okay. Now we're going to add some cheese. And if you wanted to, you can actually use Monterrey Jack Cheese put on this as well. Add just a little bit of heat to it. Okay. Find my other cheese right quick. Aha. A little bit of sharp cheddar on top. Drain you a can of sliced black olives. You can even put diced tomatoes and jalapenos on top of here if you wanted to. Now once you're going to wrap this in tin foil again, cook it the same way as the others. Once it comes out, then you're going to take some fresh cilantro to cut up to put on top of it. Whoops. Actually, I forgot to get the vegetable one out too there. Okay. Yep. You do not want to cook the avocado in there because it will make it extremely. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, the avocado is for garnish as well as the flavor. Okay. Take that. Actually, I'll sprinkle a little bit on that one too. Okay. All right, just take a spoon under there. Oops. Now that one's being a little stubborn there. Let's do it this way. Kind of slice that in some. Then you just fold that out and pull them out. Like so. All right. Oops. Don't want that piece in there. Okay. And there you have it.